Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Apron Bumps Wrestling Podcast. You're listening to the Brayster himself, Braden Mayhew, along with my wonderful collaborator and magnificent co-host at the same time, Mr. Gabe Nozid. How are we feeling tonight, Gabe, now that I have been in self-quarantine for over a week now? How's it been going on your end of things so
Um,
far?
I think spring break just ended. I say think because I haven't been keeping up with my assignments, but yeah, I've been doing some schoolwork like the past week. But other than that, I've been just chilling. Persona 5 came out on the PS4, the Royal Edition, so it's pretty fun so far. It's almost the same thing, but just some little glitz and glamour added in.
Right. So, you enjoying that so far? Was that what you were streaming last night
Oh
that you
yeah,
mentioned about? Yeah.
at the time of recording, I streamed like last night, just the first couple of chapters or whatever, of the first palace. And it's kind of like the same stuff from the vanilla game, which is not bad because Persona 5 is an extraordinary game, but so far there's no real like big differences.
Like it just feels like a port of the original game with not much added so far. Or?
Basically, yeah, it's just bonus features from what I'm playing so far. So yeah.
Well, if you ever are interested in watching that, I'm sure Gabe can let you know how to watch his live streams as we go a little bit later on. We'll save that for a little segment at the end of today's podcast. Now, what we're going over, people, is, of course, the WrestleMania 36 predictions. I can't believe I have to do predictions for this show, mainly being because they are advertising a few matches that are not happening and did not go down on their tapings. And I've stayed away from any results or anything like that. I don't think anything like that has leaked.
I haven't heard
But
anything so far. Like
yeah, I don't
even
think
when
any,
I'm looking at the
yeah.
leaks, there's nothing like big or major.
Yeah, there's nothing major, but like here's we have they're gonna be doing it over 2 nights, so we're gonna go over nights 1 and night 2. Now, what order and what matches actually happen on those nights is absolutely anybody's guess, unless they on SmackDown this week decide to tell us. But knowing them, they will not. So it's up to me to decide what matches are going to be in which order, and I could be completely wrong for both nights. But we're going to go with what I have formatted for today's show. So we're going to go over the streaming from Performance Center and other location Electric Boogaloo during pandemic show 2020. We've got night 1 of WrestleMania 36. Now, what I have opening night 1 would be the SmackDown Tag Team title match. What they have advertised is Miz and Morrison against the Usos against the New Day. Now, to my knowledge and reports that I have heard, Miz got sick and was not at the tapings last week.
They're still
So what
advertising that.
they are still advertising it. They have not changed it, but
Oh my
most people
god.
know Miz was in quarantine before the tapings happened. So therefore, this match will not be happening as they have planned. But I think the idea being is that they've just they made it Morrison against one of the Usos, and they're gonna have like a single person ladder match for
And
the
that'll be for the
both tag
tag
titles.
belts. That's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, yeah. So it's gonna probably be Morrison versus an Uso, and yeah, I think maybe they can have a good little singles ladder match here. But like, I put it first because it's involving ladders, and it's probably gonna have a few high spots and all that sort of stuff. And they like to do something energizing. Like a ladder match is usually always put in the first spot of a pay per view card. So I expect this not to be any different.
Just these two, right? What happened to the New Day?
I believe maybe one of them is also in quarantine or self quarantine for the taping, to my knowledge.
I'm trying to find where I can find the card for it because it's just a span of 2 days. Like I haven't heard of an
Mm.
event span 2 days for wrestling like in a
Well,
while.
Wrestle Kingdom
Oh,
did it
Wrestle
this
Kingdom,
year.
yeah, that was this year
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time actually. Other than that, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Miz and Morrison, New Day, and Usos. Damn. And almost like half of them are in quarantine, so that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's believed that Morrison and the Usos were there for the taping. So it seems like it's going to be Morrison versus one of them for the tag belts.
what can we say about this? I mean, it's just
Well, I mean, Morrison, he's a talented guy. The Usos can throw super kicks. Maybe you could do some super kick ladder spots. I don't know. try to make the best of a bad situation. You know, Morrison used to be known, but like the Friday Night Delight or something like
Yeah,
that
when he
way
was on
back in the day.
SmackDown, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe he can be the WrestleMania Night 1 Delight in the opener. I don't know. I hope the best for these guys, but this is not a good situation for the SmackDown tag titles. And the fact that they are false advertising is awful as well. But I predict Morrison to win it for his team. I don't see Miz and Morrison dropping it on this tape show here. And I guess we can move on unless you have a prediction you want to make. Do you believe that Morrison will retain the
I
belts
mean,
by himself?
it's
Or
it's just not for me. It's just predicting like what's gonna happen, like in general. Like, are they still
yeah,
gonna defend the belts? Because there have been like matches for pay-per-views that aren't even on the show, card subject to change. So who even knows if this match is still going to go on? But I guess if
yeah,
it
but you think that's tape?
is, yeah, especially
Okay.
if it's taped. So if it's going on, the best I can think of is, I guess, a triple threat. If we can get one New Day member in there, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll be a fun ladder match because it's been a while since I saw a triple threat ladder match with like a single person.
Yeah, it's weird that it'd be three singles guys or a three person singles match for a ladder match for a tag title.
I'll give it to, I guess, I don't know. If the title changes hands, it wouldn't really change much. I mean, Morrison's doing good and The Miz right now, but it's just a really like weird time for like wrestling. So if the belt changes, yay. I guess I'll predict. Let's say Usos.
Yeah, you think Jimmy or Jay will be bringing
I'll I'll just say
the
them.
belts
Yeah,
home?
one of
Yeah.
them.
Okay. So, also Bobby Lashley has been in self quarantine since before this taping happened either. So his match with Aleister Black that's advertised is pretty well scrapped, but they haven't
It's
scrapped
still
it from
advertised
the.
though.
Yeah, it's still advertised, but Lashley apparently reportedly was not at the taping. So we're gonna go into Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. Now the reason I put this second was because this could be interchangeable. Otis and Ziggler could actually be the opener for all of WrestleMania, including both nights, right? So I have it early on in
Mhm.
the card. It's something the fans can get into. I'm glad that this match is happening on this show, and it seems like it's going to be part of a main show and not like some pre-show deal.
Yeah,
But
it should
just
be.
bad that like their angle gets this big match and it's in front of no one, but they have to do
This
it
is
because
like
Vince.
WWE's like biggest like storyline since I can't think of a good storyline, to be honest, that
Or at
can
least like one
match.
that's gotten the casuals into
Oh
it, and
yeah,
like
that too. It's like
you
it's
know,
gotten all of us in, to be honest, because
like
we can
like
all feel for Otis and hate Ziggler.
yeah,
It's crazy,
yes.
and it's such a simple story too, and everyone's just on the edge of their seats. Or
But just so darn
it's
effective. Like Otis has been great. Ziggler has just been doing somehow great heel work at this point in his career. You think the guy would be beyond stale and nobody would want to see him anymore with how he's been booked, but Dolph's still giving her, still getting the required reaction. I think it's more of who he's working with than anything else.
yeah.
But good on them. As I say, it's unfortunate that they have this big match that was a WrestleMania built that it's going to be in front of nobody.
Last time I
Um,
was I guess invested with Ziggler was his like feud with Miz for the IC title, and that was he was a
yeah,
face, right? He was a face.
he was a baby face, and
Yeah.
that was like bordering on like 6 years ago now, believe it or not.
Damn. Yeah,
That was when
that was
Miz,
fun
yeah,
on
that was when
SmackDown
Miz.
Live.
Oh no, that was 4 years ago. You're talking about when Miz was like the long reigning Intercontinental Champion, and it built to that
Yeah,
No
that one.
Mercy
And
match.
then there was like a
Yeah,
title versus a career match, and then Ziggler won and took the title instead of retiring. That's why
yeah,
he's still here.
it's one of Miz's best matches he ever had,
Oh
in my
yeah,
opinion. Yeah. So this is it is what it is, and I predict hopefully that Otis is
Otis.
gonna.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would hope that
it's
he goes
WrestleMania. We
over in this
should feel
match.
good.
Yeah, we should feel good, and the babyfaces should win. So if Ziggler wins, whatever. But I'm not predicting him to win this one. They should do the right thing and have Otis go over. And I'm sure they did at the
Now, do you
taping, but
think that'll like affect the story in any way with Mandy? Like, if Otis wins, like Mandy will like leave Ziggler, or like he'll dump Mandy, or so like just block her, something. Like the story has to go somewhere after winning or
maybe she
losing.
will. Maybe she will show more interest in Otis, and that Dolph goes, "Oh, how could all because he beat me once?" And then you kind of built the tension there a little more, and maybe through winning, she starts seeing Otis more, and then Dolph becomes the insecure one, and you
Yeah.
can maybe build
Okay.
from there. Yeah,
They could really do a
maybe.
lot off of either
Mhm.
a win or lose. Well, I hope not a loss, but yeah, a win. They could still do more.
Yeah. So now we go from talking about two things that could be potentially exciting to the show to the probably the thing that nobody's looking forward to, that being the fatal five-way match for the SmackDown Women's title. It's unfortunate that I got to say that because I do like some of the women involved, but this was a train wreck before the quarantine happened, and now it's just even worse. Dana Brooke was supposed to be a member, supposed to be a six-pack challenge. She's been in quarantine. She's been sick. She got pulled. At least they actually removed her from the advertised
card.
match. It's the only thing that they did in updating the card.
Who replaced
So
her?
Nobody. They just took her out. So
Wait, it was a six-way?
five.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, now it's just Bailey against Lacey Evans, Naomi, Tamina of all women, and
on the
Sasha
WrestleMania
Banks.
card. Okay.
Yes, and think about it. That was planned before, or no, it was planned after the quarantine. But I did figure that they were building to a multi-woman match even before they were forced to go to the Performance Center. I mentioned that in our last WrestleMania card prediction video. Except I didn't think Tamina or Dana Brooke would be involved. I thought it was just going to be Bailey, Lacey, Naomi, and Sasha. But they threw in Dana and Tamina, and then Dana got sick, and they removed her. But Tamina's still getting that Mania payday. Are they even going to get a payday for this show? What's they're going to get something of the pay-per-view buys?
They should. I mean, like, they're on pay-per-view. They need to get something for it.
It's just a complete train wreck at this point. And this is a hard match to predict. Though I think by hook or by crook, Bailey retains. Maybe you can do something where she pins Sasha and you can begin some dissension there between those two, So I think that would be the way to go. So I do think by hook or crook, Bailey retains. And that's pretty much all I got to say about this here match.
I feel like anyone can, except for Tamina, anyone can really win the belt, in my opinion.
Yeah, Lacey could be the big feel good. She finally won the belt at Mania in front of nobody.
But I'm hoping it's Bailey or Sasha because that could really go on with their feud starting up. Either Bailey wins, Sasha's a face, or maybe Sasha wins and then I guess double turn or whatever. Like Sasha is heel or just anything, to be honest. I just hope Bailey or Sasha wins, but anyone except for Tamina could win this belt, Brayden. And I will bet my Nintendo Switch that Tamina will not win this match. So
Tamina is not winning. That's without a question. The only other person I see really winning is, other than Bailey, is them finally giving the belt to Lacey Evans, since Vince is very high on her.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna go with. I'm still going to go with Bailey retaining in the end. I could be wrong, but that's my prediction for now, right?
Yes, sir.
So now we move on to the Intercontinental Championship match. As far as I know, that this match did go down at the taping. Sami Zayn defending the IC title against Daniel Bryan. This should be good. This should be good stuff even without a crowd.
Yeah, even with no story, this would sell tickets. Just Zayn and Bryan just having a match together on WrestleMania. That's something that I would buy a ticket for. So,
and just a singles match for the workhorse belt.
Yeah,
that's got everything good going for it. As I said, it sucks that it's going to be in front of nobody, but both guys are such good workers that I could probably get into the match without an audience because they are that talented. This has potential to be pretty good, I think.
It should be. I just hope it's not another Styles Nakamura situation on paper, for the world title at WrestleMania. That was just a snooze.
Yeah, well, this is for the mid-card belt, and Bryan's a fantastic worker, and Sammy, when he's in there with somebody who's of that caliber, always usually delivers. It ain't like Sammy's in there with Braun Strowman or Bryan's in there with King Corbin or somebody like that. These two are capable. I think they can put together.
Zayn is still he still has my favorite match, which is him and Nakamura at NXT. Which one was that? Houston?
That was Takeover Dallas.
Dallas. Yeah, that's still my favorite match in NXT WWE.
And it was the best match Nakamura ever had. He never had one that great ever since then, as far as I'm concerned.
Sounds about right.
He never had a match of that level again. Even in NXT, for the rest of his NXT tenure, he never had a match of that level again. And he never had.
Yeah, they were just average matches, which isn't bad, but not as that intense when he was with Zayn. So
yeah, he had some pretty good ones with Joe, and then he had some good ones with Rude. Everything like the same match, and then he went to the main roster, and the biggest moment he had on the main roster was winning the Rumble. That was it.
The Rumble alone.
That's it. So this one's kind of hard to call because I mean Bryan has won the IC title at Mania before. Zayn's reign just started, and due to that, I think he's got to retain.
I think he's gonna retain it because Bryan, he's starting to behind the scenes wants to be a part timer. Especially he wants to be a dad more.
That's been coming out recently that he's getting near the end of his full time wrestling.
So I don't think Zayn's gonna drop it at all. It'd be horrible. For both Bryan and I guess Zayn if he were to drop it because Bryan has to keep holding the belt, not wanting to focus on his like familyhood. So it's just a no-brainer. I feel like it's gonna be Zayn for sure.
Yeah, I think like his reign just started. Now, granted, Braun Strowman's reign just started when Zayn took it from him, but it seems that I guess Braun maybe moved on to some bigger things accidentally. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
I feel like it's they're still gonna have some shenanigans, sadly, because like there's Cesaro and Nakamura like with Zayn, right, and then Drew Gulak is also with Bryan from I guess a couple of SmackDown episodes they've been having. So I can see them being involved, but I hope it's not too much shenanigans, like maybe a one and done, like they fight and then they go to the locker room, because I just want to see a clean, like pure match with Zayn and Bryan. So I hope that's what I'm getting. But to be honest,
not gonna get it.
Probably not.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna get a clean finish. I think that's maybe if like Nakamura and Cesaro team, they weren't there for the taping, so maybe Zayn does beat him by himself.
And then I could see Braun coming out of nowhere and then just I guess taking care of the interference or something, because isn't he a face or something right now?
Yeah, he has been for a while.
Because Zayn has Cesaro and Nakamura while Bryan has Gulak on his corner. So I think having Braun coming out of nowhere is like a good prediction for me.
And next, of course, is Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. I just assume it's going to be on night one. Could be saved for night two, but I have it predicted for night one. This, much like Zayn and Bryan, could be really good. I don't think any of these matches may be great without a crowd, but this could be very good stuff. Again, it's another unfortunate situation. This has been building since after Survivor Series. This feud has been going on. It's been building to a big-time Mania singles match between these two guys, and it's going to be happening at the Performance Center. And that's unfortunate, but that's the hand that's been dealt. But both guys are fantastic. And another one that's kind of hard to call. Like, I mean, I think Owens should win, but like
it's just a blood feud, right? Like there's nothing on the line or anything, right?
Okay, cool. Nobody's even becoming number one contender or anything. But like Seth and his faction have stood tall for so many Raws now. And with Seth kind of berating KO, saying if he didn't exist, then KO wouldn't, and blah blah blah. To just have Seth win and have the heel go over at Mania after all that build seems weird to me.
Is there going to be interference, or is there going to be like his?
I don't know if any of his. I don't know if Buddy and Murphy and AOP were there or not. I have no idea. I mean, one of the AOP guys got injured before quarantine happened.
Oh yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, tore his bicep or whatever. So I don't know. I am gonna stick with. I'm thinking it'll be a good to very good match, and Kevin Owens will win in the end.
I feel like I hope there's no interference, because from what I'm seeing, it's just gonna be those two in the ring, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
just a singles match, just 1-on-1.
I think I hope Owens wins, because like it's not going to do anything dirty for like Seth to lose. Like he's not going to look weak at all. I feel like Owens needs to keep going forward, because he's a really good babyface, like unexpectedly, good or bad. Owens is going up and up and up unless they give him a shit storyline. So I just hope Owens wins. I think he will win, and he should win.
Yeah, the storyline dictates that he should. I mean, it'd be weird for like this heel faction to be on top going into WrestleMania.
But granted, Braden, I wouldn't be surprised if Rollins would win, because I don't know, it's just a WWE thing.
Yeah, because he's Seth and they're high on him and whatever, but he really should take the loss here. I predict KO will win. I could be wrong, but that's my prediction. These prediction podcasts aren't supposed to be for their accuracy. It's more like just like the fun deal of what you feel in the moment, right? So, but then again, I can imagine I get both nights, at least the cards right. That'd be kind of fun. I have saved the format that I have written out for the show, and I will keep it with me when I sit through
I'm more
both
focused
nights of
on like who
taped.
wins and loses, but like you're getting the card predictions down. But okay,
I'm trying. I'm trying. I could be completely off
that's a
base
big
here,
like
but
lottery like chance
it
you're
is.
taking right now, Braden.
It
But
is. It is. But yeah, maybe I'll get at least the main events right. Who knows?
I think
But here's what.
oh, I'm sorry, but I want to go back to my prediction for Owens and Rollins. If we're predicting
KO.
like, I think I've been talking with my heart now, for these predictions. So I think Rollins is just I think I could see him win it, to be honest. But Owens should win. I'm not backing down on that statement, but I feel like Rollins is gonna win it because WWE.
Hey, that's a safe prediction at times. You don't even need anything of a reason other than but WWE
I
or
just hope
because
that I'm wrong.
WWE.
You know,
Yeah, it's just it'd be weird for Seth to win after months of dominating on television. But hey, I mean Triple H did it many years ago. Wouldn't be a surprise with WWE favoring the heel that they're high on.
didn't
Speaking of,
didn't didn't what's his name, Roman, like he main evented against Lesnar and then Lesnar won when everyone thought he was gonna lose and go back to UFC. So
yeah, you never know, right? You never know.
it's just that hard to tell.
So usually what WWE has been doing these days is for big time pay-per-views, they've been saving the women's championship match as say a penultimate or second to last match. So for night one, I have the NXT Women's Championship match as second to last for the card. Rhea Ripley defending against Charlotte Flair. The one time NXT is going to be involved in WrestleMania is at the fucking Performance Center. Bad luck. Bad luck.
I just can't
For the
imagine.
brand.
I can't imagine how it'd be for what's her name, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Like, this is her first time like in a singles like match in front of a WrestleMania crowd, and it's
It
just
was.
taken away with this epidemic.
Yeah, pandemic is a worldwide, let alone epidemic. It's called pan because it's going across literally the entire globe. But yeah, she was going to be the first NXT superstar to compete in a singles match at WrestleMania in front of the usual 70-some thousand people. But now it's just a match against Charlotte at the Performance Center. Now, granted, the win would be big for Miss Ripley. I mean, winning against somebody of Charlotte, against somebody the caliber of Charlotte Flair is a big deal. Whether there's people there or not, you got people watching at home will see that. Oh wow, she just beat a big star, right? You're still gonna get people. Whoever does watch both nights is gonna see her. At least I think beat Charlotte. I don't see Rhea dropping the title to Charlotte on night whatever night it is. But I predict night one. I don't see Ripley losing the belt at WrestleMania. I very much think she's going to.
I can actually see both ways, and it's just hard to choose which one because knowing WWE, I feel like what's next for Charlotte. I guess after let's say a loss, is she gonna go back to going for the women's or SmackDown or Raw title? Like, she's already done that multiple times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I feel like a run in NXT would really help out the brand itself, especially since AEW is beating them almost every week in the ratings. Because she's already like a household, high caliber name.
Yeah, well, they've had her on NXT before, and she didn't really move the needle all that much when she had her match against Bianca there before this whole pandemic hit and everybody got quarantined, and before it moved to the Performance Center, there was a match.
Oh yeah, you're right, because
Bianca, and it wasn't a big thing with the ratings. I mean, AEW still won soundly that week, so
it's
I know it's tough, but I think it's more that Vince thinks Rhea is a big star for NXT and he wanted to feature her on WrestleMania, and against Charlotte is like the perfect big match for her, and it gives her a big win. I think Vince just must have seen her Survivor Weekend or whatever, much like Keith Lee just was like, oh, this is a star we got here, and figured that he needed, like, she's the only NXT superstar this show. That must mean Vince is high on her. So I can't fathom her losing the belt to Charlotte at this show. But maybe you're right. Maybe they will use it as a way to send Charlotte to NXT for a while. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm gonna stick with Ripley. So you think there might be like some deal where Charlotte does the NXT brand long term for a bit, as in like a few months or whatever?
It could. I'm just saying, you know, this is, I don't know, a lot could happen with this match going forward. It's just, I don't know. I've been watching too many WrestleManias, having my fan favorites just, you know, fucked because, oh, you know, Vince, or I don't know, dude. To be honest, I'll just say Charlotte will win it, but I don't want her to win it.
Yeah, you're gonna be the devil's advocate. I say KO. You say, it's probably gonna be Seth. I say Rhea Ripley. You're like, it's probably gonna be Charlotte. I like that. That's good. That's a good thing we got going on here. So anyway, the last match that I predict for night one, the main event of night one, I can't see being anything other than the last man standing match between Edge and Randy Orton. It's Edge's first match at WrestleMania in 9 years, nearly a decade since he last performed, and it's his first time having a bout with Orton at the event, and it's last man standing, which is going to be interesting to watch that at the Performance Center. There's not like a big stage where you can do spears off of. It's very compact. I mean, maybe they'll use the empty arena gimmick to their advantage and make it enthralling that way. It's going to be interesting, but Edge's first big match in nearly a decade, I kind of see main eventing a night. Now, obviously, I don't see it main eventing night 2, but I sure as hell see it main eventing night one.
Yeah.
So that is my prediction for the main event of night 1. Do you kind of agree with that, or do you think it might be something else that will main event night 1?
I don't remember what I said in our original WrestleMania card predictions, but I could see the Edge and Orton just being a good starter first match. You know,
like an opener,
yeah,
type
opener,
deal?
yeah.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Because you know it'll get all the fans together when get their free trial going on or whatever if they haven't got the network yet, and everyone can relate to the feud between Edge and Orton because you've seen them. For me, I've seen them win Ruthless Aggression. Even people older than me who've been watching Edge during the Attitude Era. So it's just also a good dream match because they never really had this feud going on. So this could be a good opener in my opinion. And I think it should open WrestleMania night 1, night 2, either or. That's all I got to say.
No, so you think it might be in the opening spot for nights 1 or 2? That's interesting.
I don't know if it will, but I say it should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable. I think that Edge is going to get a win here.
Yeah, it can't be
You
Orton.
think that's pretty unanimous? Yeah, it can't be Orton at this point. You're going to bring Edge back just to have him get battered by Orton and then lose to him after the guy RKO's his wife? I don't think so.
Nope. They got to... Yeah, they wouldn't.
So that would be it. So Gabe thinks it might open the show. I'm thinking it main events night 1.
Both is
stay
good.
tuned for... What's that? Yeah, both is good no matter what it goes. Because if you're not first, as Chris Jericho says, you might as well be last, right? Like, or if you're not last, you might as well be first.
Yes,
you're the first thing that people are going to see. So it sets the standard. We've seen many fantastic openers in our day, and if they do open with this last man standing match, I'm sure it'll be one to remember, even though there's no people involved. So that's it for night 1. Stick around, folks. We are going to give you our predictions for night 2 with a card that could be completely off base, but you got to give me credit. I got to guess the order, which is probably going to be wrong, but we'll go through that, and we'll be right back, folks. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Apron Bumps Wrestling Podcast. We are now on night 2 of the WrestleMania that's apparently too big for one night, but we all know why they split it into 2. It's because I'm sure without an audience, they think people's attention span isn't going to be as good, so it's much more watchable being split. And I have to agree. I think this is going to be better. I mean, I'm sure both nights are still going to be a chore to a degree to watch, but I got to review it, so I'll be watching it. What do you think about this splitting into 2-night dealia, Bob? Because I'm pretty sure, Gabe, that if they were staying in the stadium, this would have been an over
just one
5-hour show.
I don't know To be honest, I think it's more than unnecessary. I didn't watch Wrestle Kingdom yet, and I keep putting that on the back burner. But I didn't feel, I don't know, it didn't feel right for Wrestle Kingdom to be 2 nights. But I heard it was a success, I believe. So,
Right.
um, yes, I'm not really sure about having your biggest show being 2 nights, and Wrestle Kingdom was the first time like, oh, I don't know why they're doing this. I mean, I haven't watched New Japan in a while. I would just hop in and out, but I just didn't feel that comfortable with the idea of having Wrestle Kingdom have 2 nights, and now WrestleMania is doing it 2 nights, and there's no real reason why. I feel like they did Wrestle Kingdom for 2 nights for storyline purposes. To be I mean, they probably tied it in because I know Naito won the IC title or
Yeah, then
something,
he went
and
on
then
and
he
won the
went
world
to
title
yeah.
the
So now
next night.
he's
Yeah.
Naito 2 belts. So
Mhm.
that made sense to me when I heard the results. But WrestleMania has like no tie-ins of
No, there's
having the
things
first
that
night and
go
second
on
night
night
connect.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, things that
nothing.
go on night one are not going to correlate with night two.
Not at all.
So
So I think this WrestleMania thing being 2 nights, it's definitely new and interesting on paper, but it's
and yeah, and taped,
and taped.
taped to boot. So, but as of now, I don't think any major spoilers have gone out yet on the show.
Not
So
at all.
I don't know what the outcomes are going to be. But I took Brandon's advice on our lost episode
Oh yeah,
due to my technical difficulties. We had a good third episode with a big time roundtable discussion on COVID's effect on the wrestling industry, and my software being on a Mac just isn't up to snuff, and it didn't record properly, and it is now a lost artifact in time. But in that show, he thought there would be a way where they could open with the Universal title match. And I mean, it'd be a quick way to get people into the show. I mean, you have Goldberg come out and defend the title. Now, he's currently scheduled to be defending against Roman Reigns, but
is it
Roman,
still Roman on the card?
yes, but Roman pulled out of the show and was not at the tapings. He did not want to get sick, so having suffered leukemia twice, and he stayed home, and he was not at the tapings last week. They still have Goldberg advertised against him for this Sunday or Saturday, whenever it airs, but he's not going to be at the show. He wasn't at the taping. So, and it's being said that Braun Strowman
Is the
is
innuendo?
the guy who filled in for Roman and took on Goldberg at the actual taping. So it's going to be Goldberg versus Braun Strowman for the Universal title. And yeah, I hope that's short and sweet because this match can't go too long. It's got to be explosive, quick, get the job done, and I guess maybe this is how Braun
His
by chance wins
coordination.
his first world title.
Wow.
It's because Roman pulls out of Mania. Now Goldberg's got to face somebody, so it had to be Braun, so he wins the belt by default. I guess
He has to lose it.
because like I don't think Goldberg's retaining. I don't. He shouldn't.
He's probably not. He's most likely not.
Yeah,
It was just a big Saudi like pop, and that's it.
Yeah. So he's gonna drop it in his first defense because he ain't staying long term. So he has to drop it to Strowman, who is Roman's replacement, because Roman pulled out
How would you feel
of the show.
if you're Braun? Like you're just gonna be popped in last second. If this
It
does
pop-
happen,
yeah.
and then
Well, I mean, he's probably gonna
win.
feel honored that he's getting the belt, but it's in front of nobody, and you
Yeah.
weren't the first choice to. It was in front of nobody, and you weren't the first choice to begin with. So it's
I
like,
feel like he'll feel more like triumphant with that Saudi like Royal Rumble belt that never came back after the
yeah,
greatest Royal
he
Rumble.
celebrated after winning with it, and then it was never seen again.
So
Well,
and
much
that was in a big ass like crowd too in a stadium.
yeah, yeah. Now this is a tiny performance center in front of nobody. So,
I mean,
but
at
I
least
predicted that,
he
you
gets
know,
to have
just for the
in the history books his name for being
yeah,
a universal
he'll
title.
be the next Universal Champion, whatever number it is in the history of that young belt. But I predicted this would go on because it'd be a surprise opener, and it would be something that's quick. And if there's a fast title change, that'll be something that can maybe hook viewers within the first 5 minutes, and then we move on with our lives. Because I mean, if this is anywhere else on nights 1 or 2 and it goes long, that's not going to be good. This has to be short and quick, like every Goldberg match, short and quick.
We just got to
Squad
predict like how
Yeah.
long it's gonna take.
I would hope no more than 2 minutes.
I don't remember what I said for the Roman Goldberg match,
I
but
think
now
you
that it's
said
Strowman,
Yeah, it's even worse.
Yeah, it's kind
Because
of
like now
hard to
you can't
predict.
do the headbutting going for double spear spot, because they both have the same signature move. So that was going to be probably part of the match, and now that's not with it. So like, just what a train wreck, really. I mean, they're still advertising Roman for that match, and Roman posted a video on his Instagram recently talking about why he pulled out of the tapings and how he's not going to be
Wow,
there, and they still
they're
have
still.
him advertised. So it's like,
I
I
wonder
don't
what the
know.
writer's gonna say, like the night of. Like, oh, due to Roman
Yeah, dude,
being sick, being what?
not wanting to catch anything, or they will just pretend like, or like he had other business to attend to, which would be worse too. So your number one contender had better things to do than show up
Then
to
winning
compete for
the
his belt.
world belt.
They
Yeah.
have to do something with like citing health concerns or due to a medical emergency. Yeah, Roman Reigns is not here tonight, so Braun, and Braun comes out or whatever. But yeah, just a complete train wreck of a situation that just seems to get even more ridiculous by the day, really. Much like the whole pandemic to begin with, it's a situation that just kind of gets a little more wacky with every day that goes by. And going from wacky to, well, I don't know why this is on the card. I put it second, which is a death spot, I guess. But Elias is taking on King Corbin. That's going to be a barn burner. Oh, yeah. This
Like,
just a complete filler match.
it's just a singles match. Like,
It's just them one-on-one, Corbin and Elias. Yeah,
I hope
in front of nobody.
I hope they like pull a gimmick last second. Like, oh, if you haven't heard, Elias, it's no DQ. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a singles match. This would have tanked in front of thousands of people watching, and it's going to tank even harder with nobody reacting to it. And
Did they have a
no
feud
drama
at all? Like,
I don't know if they've built anything up on television. I haven't been watching SmackDown.
well, the only thing I can recollect with these two interacting was when I watched the first SmackDown being live at the Performance Center. It was, I think, Elias just sat down for commentary while Corbin fought Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, that's the whole build then, maybe. Because I have not been watching SmackDown. I have not been watching it.
And I don't even think there's a lot of blood in this. I feel like they're just like the little like hatred they have between each other feels like it's like a big brother little brother like complex. Like, oh, why are you here? Why are you bothering me with your guitar? Get away from me. I'm like, okay, yeah, this shouldn't be a WrestleMania match.
No. And on top of that, it's hard to predict. I mean, I don't know who wins.
Like, do we care who wins?
I mean, it's the point where like I don't even care that it's on the card, so I really got to care who wins. Not really, I guess. But maybe they love Corbin, so maybe they'll just have him pin Elias with end of days to get a WrestleMania win in front of nobody.
I can see Corbin winning.
Corbin. Yeah, I'll just go with Corbin. That's an easy way to get through it, right?
I want to fantasy book something real quick.
Go ahead. You got all the time in the world.
They're gonna have this match that nobody cares for, and if they are willing to have, I don't know, a big new plot line, Elias and Corbin can team up against what's his name? Oh no, they're on Raw. I was gonna say Murphy and the AOP guy, whoever that other half is.
Oh yeah, Akam.
Yeah, Akam, but they're on Raw, so I don't know. I just feel like a team could disrupt them, and I feel like Elias and Corbin could be the new like, oh, they hate each other, but they gotta work together type of like tag team gimmick.
Hey, doing that would still be better than them trying to wrestle one on one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So
that could happen, but I don't know if it will. To be safe, Corbin wins.
Literally, we can imagine that anything wacky and unpredictable could happen at these tapings, right? Like we literally have no idea what's going to occur, right? So I mean, they're advertising.
We haven't even like talked about the greatest host of WrestleMania history, Mr.
We might as well talk about
Gronk.
Now that he was so great, I forgot about him on night one. So let's talk about that. Did you find him to be a little brash and annoying when he was on SmackDown for the time they showed him off?
You can say that, but multiply it by like any amount after 10.
Yeah, I don't need to see him and Mojo Rawley in a ring again ever again, and I feel like we're going to see
We're
plenty
gonna
of
have a
them
good
on
amount.
nights one
Yeah,
and two.
we are.
We're going to see Mojo and Gronk tearing it up, cutting promos and being annoying and being the two jocks that you hated to hear in high school. And uh,
I guess they're hosting because they're always starting the party or they're hype or whatever in front of a
yeah,
dead
they're hype.
crowd, a zero
They're hyping up
attendance.
those empty seats, right? So yeah, I mean, he's got some work to do. I mean, by that I mean a lot. I guess, like, I just don't think his personality type has meshed that well. Just being like, this ain't The Rock. He might have been like a good like football player and all that, and he's a name that's
Has
slightly
he trained?
mainstream.
Has he trained at all
No,
for professional wrestling?
I don't think so. I don't think so. He's just signed with them. That he's a free agent, I guess. He's not playing football anymore, or maybe he is. I don't know. I don't think he's had any training though. I don't think.
I mean,
He's just
I haven't heard of anything. I just heard that he signed out of nowhere
yeah. It was just like
from Ryan
all of a
Satin.
sudden,
So
this Gronk is with WWE. I'm just like, what? And now he's going to be hosting WrestleMania over 2 nights. And then I seen him on SmackDown, and I went, "Oh boy, we have multiple of these segments to prepare for over nights 1 and 2 on the weekend. There's going to be a ton of Gronk and Mojo on the show. They'll even do backstage skits, in the ring skits.
Now let's make it a bit interesting, Braden. You think they're gonna start an angle, or start something? Those two against, I don't know, whoever.
I could see it, but which two heels are you gonna have come out and challenge these football people?
The only thing in my mind is I guess, what's it called? I don't know. Maybe Miz and Morrison could step up, but I hope. I mean, Miz is quarantined though, so I really don't know. I just hope that the best thing that could come out of this is never mind. No, I can't. I can't think of anything. I just don't. I don't want them on my SmackDown.
Well, you're gonna get tons of them on night 1 and 2, and since he signed with them, they might not have the time to do an angle with him and Mojo teaming up at these tapings. But maybe for future broadcasts, they'll tease Gronk getting in the ring. Maybe they'll tease it on the weekend. We'll find out. Oh boy, that's gonna be fun. And speaking of fun, the women's tag team titles was officially announced. They couldn't wait till SmackDown to announce it. They announced it on Raw last night. The Kabuki Warriors defending against former champs Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. These are the women that the Kabuki Warriors won the tag titles from. So Bliss and Cross getting a rematch of sorts months later, like over half a year later at WrestleMania. This was teased. I mean, Alexa cut a pretty good promo. I don't know if it was on SmackDown this week or the week before, where she looked in the camera and basically challenged Asuka to face her and whatnot, or to be brave and take her and Nikki on. And now that tag match is happening, I mean, good that the belts are going to be on the line again at a WrestleMania. I'm thinking the Kabuki Warriors retain because they should just never lose.
They should, titles. They're the only tag team that has elevated this belt for me to
where people care about it. Yeah.
I okay, let's see. There's Sasha and Bailey. I mean, I feel that wasn't their fault. I feel like that was
the booking was really bad.
Yeah, and they really wanted to elevate. They even went to NXT and they didn't make me care. Still, I got excited, but I didn't.
And then they hold them to WrestleMania and drop it to the Iconics.
I mean, I feel like the Iconics, they deserved it, but not that quick. I feel like they should have built it up and not just drop it instantly from Sasha and Bailey. It's weird.
Nothing against Billy and Peyton, but I just find that they're more people to talk with a mic rather than perform in the ring.
Oh yeah, of course.
As far as as being in the ring, if you're gonna be a tag champ, you should be able to go decently between the ropes. You know what I mean? And I don't think the Iconics have ever been all that good between the ropes.
I mean, in their debut in the main roster and then career after that, it hasn't really flourished as much as it had in NXT. So them getting the belts was a bit too soon. But I mean, I guess they deserve it from seeing their work in NXT. But if you're only main roster or whatever, it's just, it is weird that they dropped it to the Iconics at WrestleMania too. That was another.
And we all know how
Real.
pissed Sasha was about that. We didn't see her for months after
Oh
that
yeah,
match
she was
ended.
actually mad about that booking. Holy
Yeah,
moly!
and we didn't see her for months until she came back in the fall. But anyway,
Who won the
so then
next one?
the Iconics lost to Bliss and Cross, and then
Oh
Bliss and
yeah,
Cross ended up losing to the Kabuki Warriors, and now Bliss and Cross are getting their rematch. And I mean, all four of them should be able to put on, something fun and entertaining. I don't expect it to steal the show or anything like that, but Asuka is the best female worker. I don't know,
period.
maybe on the planet.
Yeah.
She's got to be right up there. And Kyrie's no slouch, and Nikki's great, and Alexa, when she's in there with people that are that good, can blend in and do just fine. So I think this could be fun.
I feel
And
I really hope the Warriors win it.
yes,
They should.
I hope they retain. They should never lose those belts, at least not anytime soon. Give them a year plus reign.
But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if Bliss and Nikki won somehow, with WWE being the writers that they are.
Yeah, well, I mean, we go from one tag title to the next because we've got the Raw Tag Team Championships. The Street Profits, originally supposed to defend against Angel Garza and Andrade. During the recent WWE tapings, Andrade, bad luck bear there, gets legitimately injured. He hurt his ribs, so he got pulled from the Mania tapings. And so Angel Garza is now teaming with Austin Theory, who just signed with WWE and just showed up on NXT television. So now Austin's thrown in there to team with Angel in an already thrown together tag title match. Now it's even more thrown together because the guy they threw in there got hurt, so they had to throw another guy in there. Just a complete mess of a situation, really. And since Garza and Austin just started teaming on Monday, that's when the tapings happened, when they teamed with Seth and beat the Street Profits and KO. I believe that they probably shouldn't win their first shot at the tag titles, but maybe that's a reason for them to win their first shot at the tag titles. I don't know.
This is a great example of how bad this whole COVID situation is making WrestleMania. They really just should have, I guess, put it on hold or something, because come on, you're having Street Profits against Theory and Garza. I mean, I know they're not bad workers, but it just doesn't make sense.
Garza, and they just announced that the Profits would be defending against Garza and Andrade, but there was no conflict between Zelina Vega's camp and the Street Profits. It was just announced that Garza and Andrade were getting a tag title shot, and everybody was just like, okay. And now Andrade gets hurt at the taping, so they have to pull him. It's just oh my god. Yeah, I maybe just for the shock value they could have Garza and Theory win, but really my gut's telling me that the Street Profits.
It's Street Profits. I mean, come on, Austin Theory. I mean, I know he's one of the best Evolve wrestlers from what I've been hearing.
He just showed up.
He just showed up to NXT. He not WWE, NXT. He just showed up, and he's been losing too, which is weird.
Yeah, his booking has been horrendous in NXT so far. It's been very weird. First, he was positioned as a babyface against Roderick Strong. Then he's a heel antagonizing Tommaso Ciampa, and then he's losing to everybody. And now he's teaming with Garza just because Andrade got hurt. Yeah, at least Garza's been on the main roster.
Yeah.
For a few. Theory showed up on Monday. So, yeah, I think the Street Profits got to retain here.
No, they are. It's written in stone from that match. It's not gonna go to Theory that quick. I'd be surprised, but it's not gonna happen because he's more than green, especially with this shit booking that he's been given, which is making me kind of upset. I was so excited that he was in. This is giving me some EC3 vibes right now. He comes back from a great run in Impact TNA, and then they're giving him he won at first, and now they're just giving him shit bookings, and not even on any card, EC3. And
he isn't booked at all
for anything for the past couple of months.
Oh, dude, it's been a year, dude, since he's been doing nothing. It's been a long time.
If anything, he was doing 24/7 pursuits. Other than that, basically nothing.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just a complete shit show of a situation. And as I said, I could see them pulling the swerve of I bet the fans don't expect this young heel team to win, and they could win, but I'm going to stick with the Street Profits. And now we go to a boneyard match.
My
What that
favorite
means
stipulation.
is what that means is anybody's guess. The Undertaker to take on AJ Styles. There's a lot of rumors going around that they filmed this match at like a Hardy's compound like area, which means you're going to be watching it on the screen. Well, I mean, there's no fans there, so it doesn't really matter. They could just play a full screen version of it like the Broken Hardys did. But there's a big rumor for that it's actually going to be it was taped in a remote bone yard. Oh my.
Did you hear the promo that Undertaker gave yesterday or on Monday night?
I have yet to hear it, but I've heard nothing but great things about it. I heard he cut the
broke
best
character.
promo. Yeah, did he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking in his like southern like southern like accent. So
it was kind of like he was talking like Big Evil again.
Yeah,
like,
Big Evil, American Badass, whatever.
Yeah.
He sounds exactly like that. And then he ended the promo in his Undertaker voice, like her rest in peace. And I'm like, what Undertaker is this? Like,
yeah, it's like American Badass Dead Man. Like, what is this, right? Like,
I don't know which Undertaker this is anymore because they wanna make him, obviously from the promo they want to make him more human, yeah,
like normal, yeah,
because they're bringing out his name, Mark Calloway, in these promos that AJ's been giving out. But they don't know if...
Let's talk about that a little more.
Yeah.
Haven't you found that to be like a really odd build?
Yeah, it's like weird.
That AJ's just bringing up the guy's wife out of nowhere.
It's I mean, I don't want to say it's good or bad, but it is very peculiar. That's the word I'm using for this.
I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just weird. Like, has anybody ever in the build up to an Undertaker match in the last, I don't know, we'll say 15 years, gone like, "Hey, Mark, how about your wife?" Like, no.
I mean, like, it's interesting that out of all the people, it's AJ that's bringing
AJ.
Up. Yeah, because he had this feud with, Samoa Joe, and it's Samoa's, Joe's been bringing out Wendy for, like, almost every single promo, and I get it, it's AJ, he's a family man, good Christian man, whatever, and then you're gonna bring out Undertaker, the most, like, mysterious, like, gimmick,
Yeah, one of the most, like, the gimmicks with the biggest mystique ever, like, of all time. And it's like, hey, your wife's running you dry. And you're like, what?
I wonder how, like, they got, I guess, the blessing to, I guess, have this mystique a bit, like, lowered, because Vince really loves the Dead Man, because I guess it's really bringing in, a lot of tickets, a lot of merchandise sales, and everything. But well,
it's a gimmick he created, and Undertaker has always been very protective of the gimmick. He hasn't done many interviews out of character ever.
I don't know who's been running the ropes with this program, like who's like booking, who's writing this. Do you think Vince is like on hands at this, like, at all? 'Cause
I would think he would have to be at least a little bit, because Undertaker is one of the projects he cares about the most.
So, like, what's going on in, like, Vince's head then, like, to have not just, like, Mark Calloway's name out, but, like, having Michelle being, like, the wife,
focal point of the feud.
That too. So it's just
because AJ is pretty much saying, like, you're wrestling so you can make more money because she's spending it on you. Your wife's running you dry, is what he was saying, and I'll run you dry even further when you have to wrestle me. And it's just like, like, the last time Undertaker, he had a wife involved in a feud was
with
like
Sarah.
His own wife forever ago with
he was
DDP,
a badass,
the stalker.
He was an American badass still.
Yeah, so it's weird. It's territory that Undertaker really hasn't been in like almost 2 decades. This is insane to think about.
I'm not gonna lie, Brain. It is a feud that I am interested in. Like, if I'm on my subscription feed on YouTube and there's
you'll check out the content.
The Raw shit's coming out. Like, oh shoot, a new Undertaker AJ video. I'll give that a click.
I was kind of anticipating the match from an in-ring perspective because I thought AJ could be the guy to get something. But
me too. Yeah, that's what we were talking about last predictions
when we predicted the card.
Yeah,
and now it's like they could be just like doing slams on dirt and like doing punches in like a forest or some shit. Like, I hope that's not the case, but that's the rumor going around, is that they shot something like that. It's like, ugh. And anyway, no matter if it's in an actual fucking boneyard or if it's in the middle of the
A
ring, I
boneyard
say
match.
Undertaker wins this. Undertaker wins this hands down. Like easily, he's winning this match.
I really, I don't know. This feud has been
I
getting
just,
me in a
I
roller
just don't.
coaster. So if AJ wins,
I don't.
Undertaker wins. I don't know. I don't.
I just don't see it going past Mania. I don't see Undertaker working multiple shows after this.
I mean, who
Especially,
knows? You know, he's been. I remember he came out of nowhere. I guess after Brock beat him the first time, he had like a small mini feud with Brock, like at Hell in a Cell or whatever, right?
yeah, but that was no, that built up to SummerSlam, and then they had a match at Hell in a Cell. Like that was
Yeah.
a summer fall program that they worked that had like a 2-3 match deal. Right, so I mean, maybe he'll wrestle AJ more after this. I just don't see Taker sticking around too long after Mania.
No, not at all.
But
Especially with the COVID stuff going on.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna. I can understand him. He obviously was here to work Mania, so he's working Mania despite the fact it's Fred and nobody. It's Vince's call. He would have worked it if it got postponed, which is what they should have done, but they didn't. Are you torn, or are you gonna kind of side with either Taker or Styles on the win here?
If I'm gonna predict, I think it's Taker, but I would not be surprised if AJ wins. For some reason, I just wouldn't be surprised. It'd be cool, to be honest, if AJ wins. You know, on paper, AJ beats Undertaker at WrestleMania. That would be amazing.
And he beats him in a boneyard.
Match.
Yeah.
But I think Taker's gonna take it. You know, it's that's just how I'm feeling. But if AJ wins, you know, why not?
Well, I just don't see Taker sticking around, right? And speaking of people who won't be sticking around, another weird match type here. The Firefly Funhouse match. The Fiend to take on John Cena. So does that mean it's going to be filmed in Bray's like
I think it is. I feel like it's going to be another
his Blue's Clues room there. That little
it's
with the pictures on the wall where Seth found that place back in the fall. Remember when Seth found it, burned it down, and then it just came back like nothing fucking happened, and now
because I feel like Vince wanted that to make it, you know, a big monumental event, but everyone just, you know, backlashed at him like, oh, you're gonna kill the Firefly Funhouse that much? It's making, and he knows it's gonna make him money if it keeps going, because like
my point being is that like Seth burnt it down, then it just showed up again. There was no resolution for it. We didn't see Bray rebuild it. He just had it again.
On screen wise, I don't know why it's back, but you know, off screen we all know why, because you know it's
we all know why
the most money right now.
Yeah. It's just there was no closure. It just got burnt down, and all of a sudden it's back.
With the Bray Wyatt belt being what? How many thousand? I forgot how much that was.
It was like almost $7,000 to $6.5 grand.
Yeah, 6.5. Oh
god. So yeah, this should be wacky. I don't expect it to be good, but maybe it can at least be entertaining. I put these two matches back to back because I would love to see them go back to back. So we see Taker and AJ mucking around in a boneyard, and then we go to the Blue's Clues house, and it's Fiend and Cena throwing each other into furniture and
now,
stuff.
Is this Firefly Funhouse match like a you think it's gonna be live, or is it gonna be like pre-tape like the Boneyard rumors?
Well, I guess you can maybe, but you're gonna have to shoot it backstage, so it's not like it's gonna be in the ring, unless Bray's like all of his stuff gets brought out to the ring, like a highlight reel or something. I don't know. It's just a Firefly Funhouse match.
I can't tell. I feel like it'd be better like if it's another like, you know, Ultimate Deletion like program, because I can tell Bray like had a great time like filming at the Hardy compound. So I feel like he wants to do his, you know, his own type of like, I guess Hardy compound type of match with John Cena at the Firefly Funhouse, because it would just make the most sense. You know, if it's live, I don't get it. Like, it would be weird.
Yeah, well, it's just weird that there could be like two pre-tape matches like that. And
I mean, how else are they gonna have a Firefly Funhouse match? You know, like
it's got to be in the Firefly Funhouse, right? That's what you're advertising.
Yeah,
but as we all know, Gabe, it doesn't matter what they advertise, because they false advertise this whole card.
Card subject to change. You're right.
That's how they get it. But that's how they get away with it, though. That's how they get away with it when they say, "Well, the card's subject to change." That's why they can't get in trouble for false advertising. Well, we told you it could change on the night of. So that's their fail-safe. But really, they should have more integrity than that, than the false advertised matches that aren't going to happen. But it's WWE, and they're going to do what they want to do. And whether it takes place in the ring or most likely in the Firefly Funhouse, I expect The Fiend to win this match.
Oh, yeah. That has to happen. You know, big redemption. I don't see Cena winning, especially since, like, he has nothing to gain winning. Especially since
Beating him.
he's being Mr. Hollywood still. So
Yeah, and he's probably just gonna go back and do more movies. He's probably not sticking around long. So yeah, beat him. Beat the big star, get your win back, try and get some momentum after dropping the title to Goldberg, and we move on with
and
our
they're
lives.
even like bringing old fuel from the fire. When Cena beat him, that's why the Fiend Bray Wyatt was created. That's why Cena started.
Yeah.
The whole monster that is the Fiend. Apparently.
Yes, the Fiend became a creation the moment Cena pinned Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. That's
exactly.
the story. That was the beginning of the Fiend being created. So this is how it. I guess it's going to end, the John Cena chapter anyway, and it's kind of fitting. I love how they but you know what? They accidentally fell into that because originally the Fiend was not supposed to face John Cena at WrestleMania.
No, not
that
at
was
all.
made when they decided that they wanted Goldberg to be champion and face Roman Reigns instead. It was originally supposed to be the Fiend defending against Roman.
Mm-hmm.
And then they changed plans and they wanted Goldberg to be the champ to face Roman instead, who now he's not even facing Roman. So they made that title change in hindsight for literally no reason.
Mm-mm.
But now they've paired the Fiend with Cena because John had to do something, and it ends up being a rematch 6 years in the making. So they accidentally stumbled upon something interesting there. I'll give them that much, even if it was a total fluke that they fell into that type of because WWE is not one for that type of long-term
booking,
and just I guess like going through history and stuff like that. They usually never do callbacks like that ever.
Unless it's the Shield. They always bring up the damn Shield all the time.
Yeah, unless it's because that they consider that Roman's faction, right? So it's like a big deal. It's how Roman's career started. So we gotta, and Seth's career started that way. So we gotta highlight that. But it must be fun to highlight the Shield now with Dean and AEW now.
Yeah,
that must be good to highlight that faction. So again, in the penultimate position, I put the Raw Women's Championship match there. Becky Lynch to defend against Shayna Baszler. And I assume that Shayna is going to win the title here. It'd be I wouldn't be surprised if Becky won and they kept the belt on her because she's the number one woman
exactly
as far as merch sales, and she has sometimes she has gotten the ratings to go up on Raw when she has segments. So she's a slightly proven draw. There are times where she doesn't draw as well, but there have been weeks where she has improved the numbers when she's been on screen. So there is a bit of a draw with Becky.
I have heard that Shayna is like not a favorite of Vince at the moment for some reason, but that's weird.
But yet, it's funny. He picked her to face Becky.
Yeah, he did.
He gave her the final say, right? Like you chose that,
and this
is your show.
I mean, I feel like he gave her a shot, and I guess ever since the whole feud started, I feel like from what the rumors are saying, he's just like not fond of the program of what Shayna is offering to Becky. So that's like my only reason why I would see Shayna not winning, because it's a whole new face to the casual audience. If Becky wins, people would just be like, oh, the whole John Cena stuff all over again, like, oh, a new competitor.
Yeah, well, that's more the reason to give Shayna the win, because if she gets beat, nobody's gonna give a fuck about her after.
Exactly, and I wouldn't be surprised because that has happened multiple times under the E. So,
oh yeah, that's how everybody loses their momentum. They're supposed to win a big match, they never let them win, and then the crowd has been conditioned that if you do not win something major after you've been pushed, you're just going to sink down the card, so they immediately stop caring about you.
Now
that's how it works.
Yeah, but the only reason why I could see Shayna winning, and I hope she wins, I feel like it's because, she's in cahoots with, the four horsewomen of MMA, i.e. Ronda Rousey. So, and how much, money he's been putting into Ronda, and who knows when she's coming back. So
I don't think she's ever coming back, but, maybe she will one day. But Ronda has nothing to do with this. I think just like you got to give Shayna a big win. Now the Chamber was one thing, having her submit literally everyone. But beating Becky after Becky's held the belt for a year and doing it at WrestleMania, that's a big deal, and that is going to present her as somebody for people to continue to watch going forward. So that is why I have her winning the belt. But I would not be surprised if Becky retained like the female version of John Cena. Not surprise me.
Yeah, I just hope Becky drops it, because Shayna deserves it. Like, who did she lose the belt to? Rhea, right? At NXT taping or whatever. So
actually it was live.
Live. So Yeah, she deserves it more than anything, like storyline wise, even back behind the scenes. I just could see her losing because of Vince, to be honest. So, Shayna, I
Right.
think she deserves it. Will she win? I I predict that she. I really don't know. I'll just, you know what? I'll say Shayna's gonna win for now.
Yeah, we'll just agree with that, but we both will echo that Becky winning like Superwoman would not be surprising.
Would not be surprising and mostly disappointing.
Which leads us to what I assume is going to be the final main event of night two. I assume they're going to assume that night two means finality, so they'll save it for night two. WWE Championship match: Brock Lesnar against Drew McIntyre. The match that I was most interested in going into this card, the match that I thought would have been awesome in front of a fucking live crowd, is not even going to have a live crowd to react to it. And that is so very sad with how over Drew is getting and all the momentum going by it. And I was getting just like Batista vibes of the guy who wins the Rumble and gets a bunch of momentum, then beats the big
Oh
heel
yeah, I
to
can see
win their,
that.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I was like, this is the first time this has happened in so long, and the crowd actually cares about the guy who won the Rumble and is getting pushed to his first world title. It was like, it was
we've all
perfect.
cared for Drew like for so long, ever since he came back, and finally getting his moment is
Yes,
it's just so good to finally have it, but in front of a dead crowd,
nobody now, in front of
zero.
nobody now. So now it immediately is just not going to be as awesome.
Did you see the
It's cool.
FCW documentary?
I have not seen it yet.
Um, at the end, they some of the students that graduated from FCW slash NXT, they talk about like, yo, having FCW being our new home and then having WrestleMania right over there at the stadium or whatever. Oh man, it must be a great moment. And then they talk about how Drew, like, yes, it's a great moment. Winning it here, would be a great opportunity or whatever against Brooke, whatever. So it's just heartbroken. Like he's gonna have zero in front if he wins. I hope he wins.
Oh, I think he's going to win because the reason this whole show is happening is because Vince McMahon believes that he can't drag on storylines. He has to conclude them after they've been built up. He cannot delay them. So they need to be done immediately. So I assume that he was taking the belt off Brock so Drew can be the full-time champion. I believe that's going to people. He should have for this match alone, let alone all the rest of the card that should have had people. Like Edge and Orton should have had people. Becky and Shayna would have been great with in front of people. Even Undertaker and AJ would have been great in front of people. KO and Seth, Charlotte and Rhea. There's so many matches that would have been great in front of people, and now it's not because Vince just apparently believes that he's got to conclude his storylines when he builds up to them, and he refuses to postpone the show. And this match, I think, might suffer. It would have had a great crowd reaction, and now it's going to be a big what if for
A
eternity.
tremendous reaction. Even Heyman is like pushing this
Yeah,
feud so much, and for McIntyre to win, it's it is heartbreaking. But
yeah.
I I think yeah, McIntyre's gonna win, short but sweet. In front of no one.
Yep, it's gonna be awesome when he does win it. I'll sit through it to watch because I'm gonna review the show after it's done. That's inevitable, so I gotta sit through it anyway. But like I love Drew. I think he's deserved to be in the world title picture for a lot longer. I can't believe it took them this long to mold him for that position. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's a guy who's got size, height, the build. He can work great for a guy his size. Like you don't, and like he's solid in the ring. It's not like he's awkward or it's like somebody like Braun Strowman. He can move and go at that size and height and all that. And I just can't believe it took them this long. Like when they called him up from NXT, I thought this guy's going to be in the main event in no time because they called him up like right after he got
He got
back from his.
injured.
He got
Yeah,
injured against Andrade when he dropped the NXT title. And then it seemed like he was going to go back to NXT, but then they called him up as soon as he healed up.
I think
And then they stuck him.
that was a draft or superstar shakeup.
It was Superstar Shakeup, yeah.
Okay.
And that was 2 years ago, believe it or not. Now, and he was paired with Dolph Ziggler forever. Him and Dolph were
Oh
just
my goodness, I
a
forgot
tag
about
team.
that. I actually
They were just,
forgot about that.
yeah, they were a tag team forever. And then Drew and him they had like a blow off where Dolph was a babyface for like a few weeks and Drew was the heel, and then Drew started feuding with the uh, the Shield in their last little run, and he was teaming with Corbin and Lashley every fucking week, and then he faced Roman at WrestleMania last year, and then he did a whole lot of nothing, and then all of a sudden in the turn of the year they slowly turned him babyface, and that's good because I think he did all he could as a heel, and his work in NXT he was a babyface for. It was a big redemption storyline with him finally coming back to the company and winning the NXT title, and they're basically doing that on a grander scale for this. And I mean, it's been 2 years since he's been on the main roster again, but at least he's finally getting that big world championship match. And a win against Brock is still a win against Brock. And I'm still looking forward to it, though it would have been so much more better in front of people. I'll just keep echoing that
Now,
so
if
very much.
if Brock wins,
Yep.
Brayden, if he wins, which should not happen,
Mhm.
would you be surprised?
No, I would not be surprised because they did it with Roman before, and Vince has this thing with Brock where he feels like even though he should put over the newer guy, Brock should all win in the end. But if they do that, Drew's momentum will die. I mean, maybe they could get away with it a little more since it's not in front of people,
Mm-hmm.
but the people watching at home are going to be like, well, they built that guy up and this guy got this big shot and he blew it. So it's like, I think that is not the way to do it. And I think Paul Heyman should fight for the right thing to do, which is put the young guy over.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the WrestleMania card, ladies and gentlemen. Nights 1 and 2. They'll be airing this Saturday and Sunday coming up this weekend. And we've gone over all the matches and the real matches, or at least what we think is probably going to happen with a lot of people that were in quarantine and not at the tapings last week. And again, they're still advertising those people are going to be competing, which is horrendous, but it's WWE. So what are you going to do? And now I leave it to you, Mr. Gabe. The cheap plugs time is upon us.
Cheap
And,
plugs.
cheap plug time, baby. So whatever you want to spout off on here, go ahead. And
The usual, Brain. Just knows it on YouTube. I mean, it's already on your channel. I'm everywhere. And the wrestling podcast just knows it on YouTube. Nothing really on my socials. I mean, you can go ahead. Gabe knows it on Instagram, Twitter, even on Twitch. But I'm mostly streaming on YouTube. So the best place to really get in contact or enjoy my my videos and programs is on my YouTube channel at Nosed. So cheap plug end.
so that swings it to me for the cheap plugs, even though I'm the host of this whole thing, but I don't mind. If you're listening to this on Buzzsprout, ladies and gentlemen, if you heard and downloaded this from Buzzsprout, go over to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Brayster and give us subscribe there. And also, I'm going to swing it to you people who found the podcast through YouTube. It's why I uploaded on both. If you found this podcast through YouTube and you liked what you heard and you think me and Gabe are great wrestling discusser people, give the channel a subscribe. And as said, we're going to try and do as many shows as possible, given that, well, I mean, for the shows that can still happen, I mean, Double or Nothing will be in May, and hopefully things will be a little bit more back to normal by then, but there's no guarantee. But that would maybe be the next pay-per-view that we would do predictions for. I mean, WWE has Money in the Bank also planned for middle of May. So we'll see how
Are they?
Yeah, they do. They do. They haven't announced that they want to do it in the middle of May, but I think that's a little ambitious.
That's
it's a little ambitious. So, and Double or Nothing's around the same time, if not a week or two after that. So we'll see if things are more normal by then, but I could see those pay-per-views at least getting delayed or canceled. So I don't know when the next legitimate WWE pay-per-view that's big or they, kind of care about. Because Money in the Bank is kind of like the one they care about for the B shows, and then the big four go without question. And of course, every AEW pay-per-view, since they have so little of them, they do one a quarter for a year. They put their utmost into it. And of course, if there ever ends up being any NXT takeovers, of course, we will discuss those as well. Unfortunately, Takeover Tampa Bay that we predicted got canceled. And
I was going to ask you about that. When do you think why do you think it got canceled? Like, is there a real reason why they didn't have a show and decided to have night 1 and 2 of WrestleMania?
Yeah, well, because Vince wanted to do WrestleMania over the weekend, so there's no real way to air Takeover before that if WrestleMania has taken a spot on the night. But I don't know why they outright canceled it, because they could have just done it a week afterward. Maybe Triple H just thinks that the show should be done live. Maybe he's not like Vince and thinks that, like,
is NXT still live?
No, it's been being taped for the last few
Yeah.
weeks now.
So
Yeah, maybe he thinks the takeover event should be in front of people and be live and need a crowd. I don't know. There's
oh, that
some
sounds
reason
like
why
a
it got
Triple H
canceled.
decision. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think he wanted people to be reacting to what was planned for that show, and since there's no people to watch it, he just canceled it. So anyway, those matches that we predicted, I guess, are going to be happening over the next few weeks on NXT television. I'm sure it's all taped by now, and it's going to air over the next couple weeks. So we'll see. I'll tune in and kind of see what they're going to go for. I don't know if all those takeover matches have been taped and are going to air over the next few weeks, but we know a couple of them are for sure. You can follow me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Bracer. Follow me on good old Twitter as well. It's Twitter. My handle for that is at Bracer93. And of course, you can follow me on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/again, Bracer, to watch any of my Nintendo Switch live streams. Usually I do Bracer Battle Arena with viewers. That's, of course, playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This week we're going to be doing Team Battle Arena on Friday night. So thank you all very much for listening. 1,000 thank yous to all of you out there listening to us spout off about wrestling in this big time of need, and hopefully it can be a little bit of entertainment to make the day go by just that much sweeter. So thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time, folks.